Hello, everybody, and we are back for another bi-weekly reader. I want to say this is the 28th bi-weekly reader. My desk is a mess because I have so many things I want to talk about and so much to do. And before you start thinking to yourself, oh, he must have read a lot, let me go ahead and disappoint you and tell you that I have not read a lot. I mean, that's the thing. I'm always reading. It's just not always what I want to read. I don't know how to explain it. But, well, I'm going to go ahead and start off and tell you the first thing that I read. Because, and again, I would like to apologize for being so late on these more recent uploads. Just because I'm in a reading slump. And when I'm in a reading slump, I feel like I don't have anything to talk about. And it's really upsetting, but we're gonna get through it. I'm gonna get through it. It'll probably take like a couple days of just forcing myself to sit down and play and read. I'll explain why that hasn't happened quite yet later. But I'm gonna talk about the first thing that I read, and that was Kamudo. So I read this manga online, and it's just so good. It is this mix of The Legend of Zelda and The Dark Crystal, and both of these are like a series that made up my childhood from beginning to end. Dark Crystal is by Jim Henson, by the way, and if you don't know who that is, Jim Henson is the guy who made Sesame Street and The Muppets. So he's part of your childhood. Maybe not, but I mean, seeing something with Dark Crystal, like in the designs of all these creatures, these dragons, I just see so much influence from the Dark Crystal, and I love it to pieces. And so let me go ahead and tell you what this is about. It's like this mythological tale of this boy, the first human of this world on this continent in the sky, filled with these creatures that are half dragons, and it's like so cool. And I mean, and then there's this gate called the Kamudo, where God pushes this divine wind through the gate and breathes life into the creatures of the world, and these creatures are given life, or their bodies are made from the scales of this dragon lady who's just kind of up there protecting the gate. It's so cool. And like, it's not like this is just like the mythological tale. No, it's literally part of the story. It's a part of it. This dragoness whose scales are coming apart to give life to the creatures of this world. It's so freaking cool. And I just could not stop reading it until I caught up. And then I was depressed that I was caught up. It's just so amazing and so cool that anybody who's willing to read manga, highly recommend this, because it is one of the most underrated things that is going on at the moment and being published. Now, I'm going to talk about the actual books that I read. The first is going to be Left-Handed Darkness. I'm not done. This is the thing. Everything I talk about here, I haven't finished, which is more frustrating than you can imagine. Or, I'm sure you can imagine it. We're all readers here, so you know. I got like 50 pages in, and I just got so busy that I put it down and haven't picked it up since, which was like a week ago. And as much as I loved it, it's amazing, I haven't gone back into it. But what I do have to say is I'm very interested in seeing where all the characters go. Where is this journey taking us? I did struggle a lot with finding out who is human in this situation, because both sides, it's basically, we sent this empire, or it's not empire, it's a coalition across the universe, has sent a diplomat to this planet on the outskirts of the galaxy, I think, called Winter. That's the name of the planet. And the name of the character who's telling us this story, the name of the diplomat, is I. And what really confused me was that when I would talk to the inhabitants of Winter, he would say that they're not human. But they would say that he's not human. And it just gets so confusing that there would be times where I had to put the book down and just not understand what was going on and try to piece together. So what's going on? Who is human? What? Because what the big thing was is that these inhabitants of Winter don't have a designated sex, if you will. They're single sex organisms. And it's really confusing because you see these things and you're like, okay, how does that work again? And then you go back and you have to reread a passage and it's like, okay, you explained this to me. Now explain this other thing to me because I don't know what you're talking about. There's a lot of terminology to keep up with that kind of confuses me. Honestly, I'm having a harder time with this than I had with Malazan. I know that's saying a lot, but people hype up Malazan. This is more confusing to me. But it is a fantastic book so far. I want to continue it very, very soon. And we'll see what I think of it from there. Now, I'll also talk about another manga that I read, and that is Choujin X. So, this one is actually a manga I have a long history with. When it started back in 2021, I read the first 2 or 3 chapters. I think it was like June or so, because I remember I was visiting family at the time. I read the first 2 or 3 chapters as they were coming out, and I saw next chapter to come at some point. And I couldn't find when the next chapter was coming out, so I looked around for it. I couldn't find it, and I just kind of gave up. And so after that, I kind of just let the chapters pile and pile and pile, and then people are saying, oh my god, Choujin X is amazing, it's amazing, it's amazing. And I kind of just said, cool. And shrugged it off and just didn't come back. Until recently, I was convinced to catch up to Choujin X. So what do? I catch up to Choujin X. I just kept reading it, and I think it took me a little bit. The start was pretty good, but then it hits around like chapter 20 or so, and things just start flying off the rails. And I loved it. I loved it so much that I just couldn't help it. And as soon as I caught up, I started collecting the physical manga. I could not just let this gem of a series just relax. It is one of the most interesting, fascinating combinations of ideas, and just in general, I love the mysteries of this series and the characters. I have not felt this compelled by a series since, I want to say, season 4, like early season 4 of Attack on Titan. That hasn't happened to me in a while. And, I mean, Attack on Titan kind of had a fall off for me. After, I'd say, 2/3 of season 4, I kind of just went, okay. We're going in a direction. I respect the direction it went in, but it wasn't my jam. Now, this, I mean, I hope it doesn't go in that direction, but I don't think it can. I don't know if it can lose me at this point. It's so good. And the art, number one, I want to say the art for this is gorgeous. It's just absolutely brilliant. But what's really phenomenal is just the way these characters interact with these epic and cosmic terrors. Like, it's frightening what these characters have to go up against. And yet, they preserve their humanity. They preserve the essence of who they are, despite trying to grow stronger, trying to better themselves and fit themselves into this new world order that's being created as they speak. And it's this mix of cosmic horror with truly epic fantasy. And these fascinating mysteries, and these characters just grip you, and their conflicts with one another, their dynamics are so wonderful, they're so complex, and yet they feel very, very human. I just love it to bits. I cannot stop thinking about the events of Choujin X, and the most recent arc, which finished up recently, it leaves off at a very nice stopping point, was just impeccable. So many points, so many things just lined up for the ending of this sequence. And then everything that the author, Sui Ishida, has been doing with these recent arcs, or recent chapters, really, has been so gutsy that I have nothing but respect for it. It's ambitious. If there's anything you can say about what this series does, is it puts in the work to give you fantastic characters, and then does stuff that typically you wouldn't do. I would say most authors, with the direction he takes his story, which, if I say what it is, it'll be a spoiler, and I don't want to do that for anyone who's interested in this series, it takes it in such a direction that you just have to say and think to yourself, is that going to work? But the thing is that he's put in the character work, he's put in the work so that his characters are interesting enough that for him to do something so gutsy with his characters, that we're basically, I'd say, halfway through the story at this point, and for him to do something this ballsy, and it's not like, it's not something that I'd say is a little bit ambitious. No, it's something that most authors at this point in a story would not do. Or if they were going to do it, I don't know. I don't think they would do it at this point in the story. If they were going to do it, I think they'd do it early on in the story, and he did. He's doing something that he did earlier on in the story, and then doing it again, but in a completely different way, and I just think it's so fantastic. Getting to see the way these characters have evolved throughout the series, and these characters, by the way, have some of the most interesting and fascinating directions. I can't say anything because it's so insane. I'd have to give you so much context, and we'd be sitting here for like 20 minutes just me talking about the context, that you cannot sit here and talk about it. You have to read it to understand the insanity of some of these characters. And he takes them in such brilliant directions that you just sit there flabbergasted thinking, oh my god, you did not just take this character in that direction and then pull it off. It's insane, and it's amazing. I love it to pieces. So, this is one of my, this is easily, this might be a top 5 manga when it's done. So, we'll see. But it's amazing. So, if you like manga and haven't checked this one out, fix that. It's fantastic. Now, for To Green Angel Tower, I've been struggling with To Green Angel Tower. I don't even think it's To Green Angel Tower's fault. I look at the page, I look at these pages, and I think, oh my god, it's an overload of words. And then I put it down. Which, from a book lover, is probably the most crazy thing to hear. It's like, what do you mean there are too many words on the page? But I've been struggling with it, which is upsetting. So, I do have an alternative that I'm thinking of. Like, maybe I might put this book on pause, because it's an amazing book. Let me be clear. It is not the quality of the book that is holding me back. It is my weakness as a reader that is holding me back from reading the book. And it's a little annoying, it's a little upsetting, but it is still brilliant, because I want to keep reading this book. It's so good, I love these characters, I'm so absorbed in what they're doing. But bringing myself to sit down and actually read has been a struggle recently. I could not tell you why, though. it really just is a matter of the willpower at this point. And I'll tell you what the biggest reason why my willpower has died. I started a video game called Persona 5. No, that was a horrible idea. It's like imagine reading a manga that's 100 hours long apparently, but you started it and now you can't give up. That's what I did. And so I'm just gonna, now the thing is, I'm too deep in. I'm too deep. I don't give up. I can't give up. It's just not in my nature. When I start something, I finish it. So I'm in for a long ride, and I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like, I got myself absorbed in a game, and now it's like, ugh. Now the books are going to the side, and everything's going haywire. I mean, I am reading manga. It's not that that ever stops. But it is annoying. So I think, I mean, it's that on top of the fact that I'm getting, like, I'm having a hard time just sitting down to read. So I think an easy solution that I might try to take into my hands is reading a simpler book. That is going to be Isles of Emberdark or Real Lord. Now, some people are probably looking at this and saying, Real Lord? Simple? This is not simple. But okay, listen to me. There are books that are made to be addictive, and then there are books that are made for you to take your time and sit down and really soak in the story. Sanderson doesn't do that kind of story, and L.L. Stevens, she kind of does, but she's also just kind of, like, it doesn't feel like you can ever put this book down. It's an addictive read. And so it's probably a good thing to kind of try and counterbalance to Green Angel Tower with an addictive read that's kind of just gonna be like, oh yeah, give me more. And that's why I'm thinking I might read Real Lord, because when I read the other books in this series, I had no problem reading 100 pages a day. Just easy. I could do it easily because it was so good. And so I think if I get myself into the groove of 100 pages a day, I'll be able to come back to Green Angel Tower, no problem, and we'll be groovy. And also, I really, really, really want to read Real Lord, since it's the finale to the Triumphary Revelations, and it's such an amazing series. I can't give up on it. And then, of course, I really want to read Isles of Emberdark before I get my hands on the next secret project. What's it called? Oh my god, what's it called? Oh, that's upsetting. That's so upsetting. I don't remember what it's called. The Secret of December? Fires of December. It's the Fires of December. That's the one. I really want to read that, so I gotta read this. And this also has really interesting formatting that I love, so I really, really want to check out Isles of Emberdark. It's just been a struggle to actually, I mean, hell, I'm not able to read this thing. Why would I read Isles of Emberdark if I can't read this? But I'm sure Isles of Emberdark is going to be fantastic, so. Now, for the next two things, they weren't things that I read, but they are things that I've been gifted, and I'm very grateful for. The first is the Silver Crystal. Thank you to Derek and Justin for giving me, or I want to give away, and I got a signed copy of the Silver Crystal, which I love so very much. I'm gonna put it up on my shelf somewhere whenever I find the time to actually put it on my shelf and find a nice place for it. And that is very, very nice. Now for the other thing that and also, by the way, I want to say, there came a, what's it called? A stamp. It's not a stamp, but like the wax seals. There we go. It's a wax seal. It was so cool. Thank you so much to Ryan Lance for doing that. I love that kind of stuff. And I got another one. I actually got 2 wax seals from the wonderful Vesnerach. I probably butchered the pronunciation, but oh my god. Number one, I'm already. He sent me a blurb, or not a blurb, a synopsis of what this is like, and it took me like 2 paragraphs, and I was like, oh yeah, let's go, let's go. That's the kind of thing I want to see. That is cool stuff. I saw 2 paragraphs and thought to myself, now you have my attention. So I don't know if if the blurb or the synopsis is out in the wild so far, so I'm not gonna say anything about it. But I thank you so very much to Vesnerach for. That's actually the reason this video kept getting delayed, because I wanted to talk about this. Because I have never received such a beautiful book in my life, like beautifully wrapped, and he put this on it. It's, I don't know if you can see this properly. It's the wax seal. And in case you're wondering, yes, I delicately, it took me like a day to peel this off the wrapping, and I'm not giving it away. It's mine. I'm like, I wanted to seal it. Like, I loved the wax seal so much that I tried to peel it off so that I could preserve everything, and I think I was able to do that successfully. It's so cool. I don't know if you can see that well, but it's very, very cool. And not only that, but he gave me a bunch of stickers. This is just one of them. I think there were 3 or 4. It's so kind of him, alongside 2 bookmarks with a glossary on the back of one of them. And by the way, I want to say, this bookmark is really cool. Like, I didn't realize what the magic would be like, but after seeing this, I'm like, oh. And now I want to ask him, how much do you like geology? Which I'm sure the answer is a lot after this. And then I got a letter on top of 2 bookmarks, a wax seal, 4 stickers. I got a personalized letter. Thank you so much. I don't know how to express thank you so much. And then on top of that, he signed and sent over and took the time and money to send over an arc, a physical arc to me. So, and that's why I'm dedicating this whole bit to that. But thank you so much, Vesnerach. This was such a wonderful gift to see in the mail. I didn't expect it to look that nice. But when I got it, I just thought to myself, what a beautiful gift. What a beautiful thing to see in the mail. It's so stunning that on top of the fact that I was already very interested, it's just so heartwarming, you know? When you get those kinds of letters and you get those kinds of things, it's like, that's so nice, so sweet, that you're so happy, you know? And it makes me just want to keep reading this book and just keep reading in general. That's the kind of thing you love to see. And then you get to see, you can tell how much passion he put into making it, and then how much passion he must have for this book. If that's how much passion he puts into a package, how much passion has he put into this book? That it just excites me so much that I know I'm going to get to this book sometime soon. That's an absolute must. I want to finish the Green Angel Tower. I want to read Dead House Gates. I want to read Real Lord, and after that, I might genuinely just pick up Stoneblood. Because this has my attention. And Vesnerach is just such a nice and kind guy. I want to try and get him on the channel at some point if I can. But, again, thank you so much. It was such a wonderful thing to receive. And that's about all I have to say for today. Thank you all so much for watching. I apologize for this being so late. I know it just doesn't feel like I have a lot to talk about when I don't finish to Green Angel Tower. When I say, I'm going to finish to Green Angel Tower next week, I'm going to finish it in the next 2 weeks, and then I don't do it. It is kind of it's annoying on me, and it feels like I'm not doing what I said I would, and it's kind of upsetting to me, and so I keep pushing things off, and I don't do other things. It's a whole thing. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you so very much. It is such a wonderful thing to hear what you guys have to say about what books I've read, what books are you guys reading. It's so wonderful talking to you guys in the comments. I know I've repeated that like 3,000 times already, but I'm going to keep saying it. And that's about it. Thank you all so very much, and I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day, and I will see you all next time.